Hi, Future Tessa here. We just wanted to say the menu is what we're talking about, and we highly recommend this movie. And this whole thing has spoilers in it. So please watch the movie first, then watch this. Please watch it before you listen to this podcast episode. Okay, bye! Was that a cool sound?
I don't know if I enjoy that noise, but we have no cans today, so.
Yeah, no cans, no bottles.
Yeah.
Only our water bottles.
Yeah.
They're not. They're metal.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. I feel like we're both pretty tired today. We're low energy, and we're talking about one of your favorite movies.
I know. I do have a lot to say, but I'm very low energy.
We didn't discuss this before. How long are we going to record?
I think we can shoot again for like 140.
130, 140.
Yeah.
Got it. Solidified. Welcome to episode 12. We've been doing this for 3 months now.
Dang. That's wild. And we only missed 1 week.
And that technically was not my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, technically that was not our fault. We had it recorded. It just didn't post.
Yeah. Other than that, we've got an episode up every week.
Mm-hmm. And then technically that week after I posted too.
Yeah.
So technically on the books, it looks like we posted every week. Roughly. By how many episodes we have. But yeah, 12th episode. Should we, you done yawning?
Yeah.
Should we check in on our week? And
should we? That sounds like you've been going through the ringer.
I have been. Work has been rough. It's been rough. I can't go into too many details, but this whole week has been insane. So I'm just powering through. I'm gonna kill it with a smile and get my shit done and have a stay in bed weekend. I need a stay in bed weekend where I don't do anything.
Other than baseball.
That's Thursday.
Never mind.
Do you mean Tanner's baseball?
Yeah, Tanner's baseball.
Tanner's baseball is until July. Oh, that's July 1st, isn't it?
Yeah, that's this Saturday.
I thought it was next Saturday.
Yeah, because July 4th is on a Tuesday this year.
Do we get July 4th off? We do get July
We get the 4th off, which is a Tuesday, so.
We go in Monday, but then Tuesday we do nothing. I'm going to stay in bed Tuesday.
I also took off Wednesday because I have my hair appointment that day, and it's at like 11:30, so I was like, I'm just not going to go into work. It doesn't make any sense. My hair takes like 3 to 4 hours. And I will be drinking for the 4th of July, so.
I will probably be in bed all day, which I'm fine with. I actually prefer it. I want to be in bed as much as I can. So I'll probably have a relaxing day Tuesday. Oh, I'll probably be doing homework. My second class starts tomorrow, Thursday, baby. So, but I'm not going to do anything until the weekend, most likely. I should probably check to see if things are due at certain times.
Yeah.
Thursday. Just double check, make sure they're not due throughout, like on Friday or Saturday or whatever. But I hate that this class is structured from Thursday to Wednesday. That makes me very uncomfortable. It's not Monday through Sunday.
I think that's how my
It's awful and it's disgusting.
When I start.
It's disgusting. It's horrible. Because then you gotta rush during the week. Yeah. After you had a hard day at work, you have to struggle during the weekday. You can't be like, I can push this off. You can't do that when it's a Thursday to Wednesday. Yeah. I can't push it off till the weekend because the weekend's right at the beginning.
Yeah. I'll be right there with you.
No, by the time you start, it won't be like that anymore because my normal classes are Monday through Sunday.
Oh.
The only reason why it's Thursday to Wednesday is because class ended Monday.
All of my classes.
I don't know why they
she
didn't
said it will be Thursday through Wednesday.
That's gross.
My very first class starts when I...
Thursday to Wednesday, you mean?
Yeah.
I think you said Wednesday to Thursday, and I'm like, that's 2 days to do your homework.
Just get it done, quick. Yeah, I'll start when I go for my concert, so I'm going to bring it with and see if I have anything to do.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Yeah, coming up on my last month, and then I'll have school like you.
Fill it up, because you're not going to live until you graduate, most likely.
At least I only have...
Well, you technically don't graduate, do you? Yeah. Certified. You'd be certified.
Only a year and a half for this. Then I'll be done.
Shorter than mine. Yeah. Mine was a year and 3/4 of a year. Instead of 2 years, because I got 2 classes waived. Stupid. I have to do research methods. Luckily, that should be an easy class, though. Yeah. Stats is harder, but research methods is a lot easier if you already have background information, which I do. I took a whole class on it, so. That was my mouth, by the way. How was your week?
My week has
Well, wait, hold on. You asked me about my week before I even asked you. Look at you.
My week has been okay. This is my last overtime week, so I've been working crazy because I also left early yesterday to get a tattoo with my mom. So I'm making up the 3 hours I left for that while also doing overtime. So every single day this week I'm working either an 11-hour day or a 12-hour day. But it'll be my last. Then I'll be back to being on normal people hours.
Mm-hmm. And then does that mean you get another break? Because it's 12 hours instead of 8? You get a second break?
No, because I'm doing overtime. So, like, my normal work hours, I'm only working 8 to 9, but why it's 12 is I have overtime. I'm working overtime.
Yeah, but if you're still working a 12-hour day, no matter if it's overtime, you have a 15-minute paid break. Pretty sure. You get 2 15-minute breaks. One during the day and then 30 minutes for lunch. Pretty sure. Legally, you can't work 12 hours overtime or not straight with no break.
Yeah, I have my lunch break in there.
Yeah, that's 30 minutes. And that's 30 minutes. That's a 30-minute break for 12 hours. No, I think you're legally required to take another break. And the 15-minute breaks are paid.
Well, I don't take those.
You can if you want to. Instead of working 12 hours straight, you can take 2 15-minute breaks that are paid. I'm pretty sure that's what the State Patrol told me. But okay, anyways, we watched. Oh my god, I'm tired. We watched
The Menu.
Thank you. I was gonna say The Meal, and I was like, that's not right. The Menu. With the chick from Split, the guy from Warm Bodies.
Nicholas Hoult and Anya Taylor-Joy. And
she was also in the chess TV show movie. It was a Netflix original. I think it's called Queen's Gambit.
Oh yes.
Yes.
She's also
she's chess.
Last Night to Soho. That's a good movie.
I've not seen that.
And then Ray Fiennes, who plays Voldemort.
Ah, yes. He does not look like Voldemort. I keep forgetting he is. He's not my Voldemort.
Changes. Having a
the nose
will change
and being grayish blue.
Perspective.
Green? Gray.
He's kind of
gray.
Yeah. Some of the lighting on him made him look blue, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's like my car.
Yeah, it reminds me of a gray-blue color.
My car.
Yeah.
My car is a gray-blue color.
Burp.
You're burping, huh? You good?
Yeah. I had enchiladas for lunch and I'm burping. I don't know what the correlation is, but...
Mexican food? Did it have refried beans in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes you gassy, whether it's farting or burping.
Yeah. So
it depends on which way it wants to go.
I'm burpy. Yeah, so The Menu is a movie I really like. I saw this in theaters when it came out, and I had a great time because everyone in the theater was also having a great time. Also because they name drop our state, and so I freak out a little bit.
Grand Island.
Yeah, so that was fun in the theater because I feel like that's an experience you would only have here because no one else is going to care in other states.
Oh, maybe Wyoming.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, it's us!
Because everyone forgets about poor little Nebraska.
Yeah. So.
Everyone still thinks we ride our horses to school.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a city.
Yeah.
You were born in a city. I was raised in a city. Well, a suburb of a big city, so. I mean, like.
Yeah, we're
not very country.
Horses, but we do get excited about when we get name dropped because it's not often. Or if something's set in Nebraska, it's like, yeah, it's us.
I've never seen anything set. The only thing I think of is Children of the Corn.
So there's some supernatural episodes that are set in Nebraska because they are only in the Midwest and they tend to choose towns and nobody knows. Yeah, so...
When are they filmed in those places? Probably not. I think they filmed in Canada, didn't they?
Yeah,
it was cheaper.
Canada. There was a movie recently.
Oh my god, this was unplugged.
Oh my gosh.
I would have died.
Bones and All, there's a scene in that, because it's like a road trip movie. They actually...
What's it called?
Bones and All.
I have no idea what that is.
Bones
and All?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about cannibal people.
Oh, sick.
It's got Timothy Chalamet in it.
I've never heard of that movie. And it has Timothy Chalamet in it?
It's very indie, small.
And they got Timothy Chalamet on it?
Yeah, well, it's the same director who did Call Me By Your Name, so he was like...
Every time I hear that, I think of Little Nas X.
Yeah.
That movie, that book, there's so much I cannot. I read it. Oh my god, it overstimulated me. A book overstimulated me. I don't know if it was a good or a bad way. The movie, very close to the book. Missing a couple key scenes.
Yeah, so it's the director of that, so he asked Timothy if he could do it, and I think he also helped produce, because he really liked that project, but anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
Sexy Cannibal.
Yeah. He is, actually.
A sexy cannibal?
Yeah.
Well, is that his whole character?
They're
a
not
sexy cannibal.
Cannibals, like, on purpose. They're, like, the way it's explained is that, like, they have to, like, eat people. Like, they are driven to do so, so it's, like, an instinct more rather than a choice. Like, I am going to be a cannibal. It's, like, they don't...
Yeah, but that's not cannibal by accident.
Yeah. It's more like an instinctual, like, they were born that way. Like, the way it's described is they are born with, like, a cannibal
We should watch that movie. I'm out in that. I'm confused.
It's an interesting movie. Anyways, that was filmed, parts of it in Ogallala, Nebraska, like, not cornfields, like fields. Anyways, back to the menu. Just had to give a little shout out to Nebraska.
We hate you.
Yeah.
And love you.
So this movie is about essentially a restaurant who's serving a menu.
On a deserted island.
Yeah, on an island. The movie takes place mostly just in the restaurant, and you got a bunch of groups of people there, and it's a fancy restaurant where it's like 1,250 a person.
1,200.
Yeah.
1,300. We'll just say 1,300.
Yeah, like almost $1,300 to eat here per person, and it's an elusive, like, it takes forever to go there, like, get on the list to go, and it's expensive, and it's very pretentious, fancy people.
It's like
food.
The deconstructed things. Have you ever seen Always Be My Baby? Always Be My Maybe. Sorry, when I'm tired, I slur. The Netflix movie with Randall Park. I forgot her name, but Randall Park. The scene where they are at the restaurant with Keanu Reeves and they're eating the meat and listening to the animal sounds of what they're eating. That's what it is, but not as like comedic as that. Yeah. It's more dark comedy, but like Always Be My Baby is more comedic in that way. But it's kind of like that. It's everything
Yeah.
deconstructed
It's
and
like
stupid.
pretentious food, like the joke of like people say like when you go to those fancy restaurants, they give you like the teeniest tiny little portion plate, and you're paying like hundreds of dollars for like one bite of food.
I would do it once for the experience if I ever had that money. Once for the experience and never go again.
Yeah.
I just want to know what the fuck people are going crazy for.
Yeah. There's that one that we talked about. That one looks interesting because they're actually like
they look like decent size.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have all these people who are going, and they're definitely upper class people who can afford this. You got a group of tech bros.
Tech bros.
Love tech bros. And then a food critic and her like.
Should we talk about just
guy.
while going through them, like what bad things they did in general?
Yeah.
Why they are bad people. We'll talk about why they are not good people.
Yeah.
Tech bros. Embezzled money.
Yeah, they embezzled money. They're also like very entitled, thinking that because they're tech bros and they got all this money, and also the restaurant is owned by their boss, that they can like do whatever they want. So they're kind of just douchebags. They're like the quintessential like tech bro like douchebag. Like
yeah. You don't know who I am?
Yeah, like do you
know
who like runs this
who
place?
I work for?
Yeah. Like,
no, work with, and then she was like, work for.
Yeah. And then you have the food critic and her like lackey guy who's kind of like her like hype man, I guess. He's just around with her. I don't know what his actual.
He might be an assistant.
Yeah, like an assistant.
I'm thinking an assistant. She's a dick because she closes people down because of her bad reviews.
Ruins people's like
dreams.
You
eating something? She's licking the countertop.
As you do.
I want her to do that because I don't know what she's licking.
Yeah.
You could be licking raw chicken juice.
That's fine for her. She's a
maybe, but it's been sitting here most likely. I don't know if I got any on there.
And then you have the rich couple who are there.
Which one?
They're the ones,
the older?
Yeah, who've been there like 11 times, and like, the lady, she's just kind of like, there's not much happening with her other than they kind of.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah. They're kind of like the, like, people who they have so much money that they just no longer care about the experience that they're having. But the guy, we learn, is having an affair. He's hiring sex workers. He's got weird stuff going on with, like,
his daughter.
He's just
in an example is he made one girl go by the name of his daughter while he jacked off?
Yeah, well, he jacked off, and he was like, tell me I'm
a good dad.
I'm a good dad. I'm a good person.
That made my skin crawl.
And then you are my daughter, and it's just like,
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That sounds like incest shit.
Yeah, so he's great. I'm being sarcastic. And then
my favorite too is the movie actor.
Yeah, movie actor.
And his assistant. I fucking love that.
He doesn't really have like a lot other than the reason why the chef wants him dead is because of his horrible ass movie that he did, but he didn't direct it. He just was in it.
He just starred in it.
And his assistant.
No, I want to say the assistant one. She's my favorite.
Yeah.
The assistant's reason is the funniest reason in the world. It made me chortle. It made me go, it made me laugh from the bottom pits of my stomach. It's because she went to college and went to an Ivy League college. Brown, correct?
Yeah.
Is Brown Ivy League?
I don't think it's Ivy League, but it's definitely...
It's very expensive.
Yeah. I think I looked it up, and it said after financial assistance, it's still like $62,000 a year.
So, she went to a very expensive, prestigious school, Brown University, and the reason why he the chef deems her as a bad person because she went to school and had no student loans. Yeah. I laughed. I was like, eat the poor. Oh, no, that's not right. Eat the rich.
Yeah, because, like, he wasn't like, oh, scholarships? Like, it sounds like her parents probably paid for all of her school. And so that line in the theater, I think there were some college students at the theater because we, like, laughed so hard because it's just the subtlety of how the line is delivered is just, like...
Beautiful.
What school did you go to? She's just like, Brown. And then he goes, student loans. She's like, no. And he's like, you're dying. It's just like all this like people in the theater were laughing and we're like, yeah.
Eat the rich.
Because it's, you know, student loans.
Even though we went to a pretty reasonable school, price-wise, the financial aid you need to get, holy God. I lucked out and I got my tuition paid for. But for people that didn't get their tuition paid for, I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Like
I didn't get it paid for because my mom bought it. I got it because of my academics.
I took out every loan that I could have to be able to cover school. So that's how I paid for it. So just like seeing her be like, I didn't pay for my $100,000 like plus college. I'm just like, yeah.
Can't relate.
Not that I would go and kill people in real life, but in the reality of the movie, it's really funny. And then we have our last two couple, which is Tyler, played by Nicholas Hoult, who's like this annoying-ass foodie who he thinks he knows everything about food, even though he actually doesn't. He just knows...
He can't cook.
He can't cook, so he's just like, I know everything about this. And then we also find out that because he's such a huge fan of this chef, that he knows they're all gonna die, and so he just willingly brought along, well, one, it was gonna be his girlfriend, who ended up breaking up with him. So then he hires the Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Erin/Margot. Hires her.
We'll call her Margot. I like Margot.
Yeah. Hires her essentially because we learn that she like does sex work and escorting. Just hires her to come along because they don't allow like one person to come. You have to be in like a pair. And so he like just blatantly hired her for her to die. And so he knows everyone's gonna die, but he's just so much of a fanboy for the chef that he just doesn't care.
Solid. This is worth dying for.
He's like, I'm here for the experience.
That's a stan. Yeah. Somebody who is willing to go somewhere for a celebrity and knows they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Stan.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh. And then we have one other lady there who we find out is Chef's mom. You don't ever hear her talk. She's just sitting there drinking alcohol.
Till she passes out.
Till she passes out. And then, of course, we have Chef Slowick.
Can I do it? Hold on. Yeah. I want to do the clap. I want to do it. I'm going to stand way back here, though, so then it's not as loud. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, that's a solid one. It's not enhanced. Oh, look at that wave. It's not as enhanced.
Yeah. So Chef...
That hurt.
He is the owner of this... Well, not the owner of the restaurant, because the investor technically is the owner, but he's the chef. So he's the one who makes all the, like, food decisions, even though he has sous chefs that help him out, but, like, he's the head chef. So he's, like, has no, like, love for his food anymore. He feels like, his life's been ruined by people like Tyler and the people in the
11-time visitors.
Yeah, like, those kind of people, because he, even though he's a renowned chef now, he sees him, he's still like a service worker providing a service, and his thing is that these people don't appreciate, so they've like stuck the joy in life out of him. I have a lot to talk about with just those themes in general, but that's kind of the gist of all of our groups. And then the main storyline is a spoiler, because this movie...
This was all spoiler.
Most...
we just spoiled that...
Yeah, so
we knew.
Just don't come into these and, like, not watch it.
I'm going to put in the description, the first thing is spoiler alert.
Because this movie's kind of fun to go in and not have an idea, because the trailer definitely leads you down the route of thinking they're serving people, and that's not what happens.
I thought it was going to be cannibalism.
That's what I thought too when I saw the trailer, but it turns out that all of the people there are actually ingredients in the chef's menu, and the menu is he's going to kill everybody, plus himself, plus his workers, plus burn down his restaurant, because he's just had enough.
That's a good revenge plot, though.
He's just had it.
I'm sick of everyone, so I'm taking them all down.
Yeah, and he also, like, kills his angel investor because he's had it with him, trying to, like, control him, and, like, also ask for substitutions. And as he yells, there's no substitutions at Hawthorne. He's very intense about this. And this movie is like a dark comedy.
Oh my god, it's funny.
It's so funny. This movie makes me laugh. Oh yeah, and we have one more character who I love, who is Elsa, who's like his, like, she's not a chef.
Where's Elsa?
She's the short
brown hair girl?
Asian girl.
Oh, the server.
Yeah, she's the server, also kind of his
hostess
assistant, because he like asked her to go get stuff and all that. She's really funny. She's got like a very
her name was Elsa.
Yeah. Very stony like exterior, and the way she said stuff is just so funny, but she's like no nonsense. Like there's one point where
it's a tortilla.
That's my favorite thing. Like the meals like get crazier and crazier, which is how the people attending find out that things are not on the up and up here, because it starts out pretty, normal. We're getting an appetizer, fancy ass scallop on rocks. But then things start to change when one of the sous chefs, the tortillas is before that. The tortillas, they're engraved or like etched with things, and like
I think it was burnt.
Yeah,
like it was used with a laser.
Yeah, like a laser. And so the tortillas have like incriminating things. You have Tyler taking pictures the whole night, even though they said not to. The affair guy, and then we find out that this is the tech bros are embezzling money, and they're like freaking out, of course, about this. So they like bring over Elsa, and they're like, what is this? And she's like, these are tortillas delicioso. And they're like, no, what's on this? These are tortillas. And she says it again. She's just like, no nonsense. And then eventually she's like, oh yeah, these are the wiretaps showing that you've been embezzling money from your company.
It was the third time. Then she's like, oh yeah, that?
Yeah.
Just your crimes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I love Elsa. She's
or
so
one of my favorite scenes with Elsa is the movie store picking up the chair and hitting it on the window to break it, and it just bounces off. And she's like, let me help you with your chair. And I'm like, oh my god. And he's just like, I'm sorry. Let me help you with your chair.
Sit back. And she also has another great one when they're like first taking their tour, and the tech bros is like trying to like be funny, and she's talking about how their meat is like dried so the proteins like relax and all this like fancy ass protein talk. And she's like, oh, and we like take him off at 152, and he's like, oh, what happens at 153? Does all hell break loose? And she's like, well, if you would eat this, the bacteria would probably like
eat you alive,
introduce itself to your bloodstream, where you would therefore expire. Just like so flatly saying this, but so funny. So yeah, I love Elsa.
It's a great movie.
It's really funny.
It's good just for the comedy.
Tyler's bullshit is hilarious because Tyler doesn't know how to cook, and then Chef puts him in his place and is like, cook. Go. Tyler is like, he's like asking him what he wants to cook, and he's like, shh. And he's like, you want some shit? He's like, shallots. And he's like, shallots for the great foodie. And then Tyler's trying to like dice stuff, and he's like, "Oh wow, a new dicing method we've never seen before." Basically, just like
Fucking roasting him
roasting.
next to him in his ear while all the sous chefs are watching him.
And it's so funny, and that leads to Tyler's demise because Chef whispers something in his ear, and then he goes and hangs himself, and we never know what he said.
He probably said, "Go kill yourself."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yes, chef."
I think he also probably demeaned him a little bit, being like, "You don't know food, like I don't like you," or something like that. Cause
He was always scared that chef didn't like him.
Because Tyler is like that much of a fanatic, where he's like, "Hey, I want Chef to like me," and throughout the movie,
and threw a pissy fit thinking that Margot got like a personalized lunch thing.
Yeah,
he was so shitty, and then like called her a lot of mean things.
Yeah,
and in my head, I was like, I get why she's so pissed off, but as a girlfriend, I would fight this fucking dude.
Yeah, because we don't know that they're not dating until we find out like Margot's job and that Tyler like hired her to come along because she's replacing his girlfriend, and which she's our pivotal character because she is the outlier within the group because she is a service worker. She's doesn't have like this crazy amount of money that these people do. She's doing like work that's not like I don't know how to say it. She's doing work that she actually has to like do things where like
she's working class.
Yeah, working.
She's a working class. She's not white collar.
Yeah,
she's blue collar, not
Chef,
white collar.
Like notices the difference and because he identifies more with the working class, even though he is like a pretty expensive chef now, he doesn't have any joy when it comes to that. Like his joy came from like flipping burgers and like
he was a chef at a burger joint.
Yeah. And he worked very hard to get to where he is now, but it's like for what? Like for these people who don't appreciate the food that I'm making. So Chef is a very interesting character because he kind of is like a cult leader of his other chefs because they like follow everything he does. They like live there, get like 4 hours of sleep, and like
awful.
They all want like chefs like to be seen in a good light by Chef or to be Chef, and yeah, so he's a very interesting character. Like he, of course, what he's doing is like not like the best thing, like murdering people.
And he also he had an experience with that one chef, the sous chef, the girl.
Yeah,
where it was kind of like workplace harassment. But like he took a knife to the leg, so that's pretty not a knife, a scissor to the leg. So I mean, like redeeming.
Thigh chicken scissors.
Yeah. No, yeah. Were they the thigh ones? Because those ones are small.
Yeah, they're to cut the chicken al pastor that they have. Like it's
no, I know that. I meant the one that was stabbed. I thought it was a normal pair of gold scissors.
No, it was the tiny. one,
I didn't realize it was tiny.
It's like the opposite of like him being like, I stabbed my dad with these when he tried to murder my mom, so now she's stabbing him back with the same thing.
Also, that was my favorite meal besides Tyler's shit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Tyler's bullshit meal. That was funny. Those are funny.
Yeah.
Or just a good old burger.
Yeah. They also have like refreshment tea. That they let the guys try to run and like escape while the women just have their tea and like
sit there and talk. Yeah. Margot starts smoking.
Yeah. So, anyways, I have a lot to talk about because I think the big overarching theme with this movie is definitely class because like already from the get-go the food is kind of pretentious. It's the food that you don't go eat every day if you're like not very, very rich, and it's kind of the food that you is a once in a lifetime kind of experience. Like if you wanted to go to this, like if you were working class, you'd be saving up for a while just to have one meal. Like
Also, I just want to go on a little rant. That meal is 4 hours long.
Yeah.
That is too long for a meal. Is it 4 hours?
Yeah.
Did it start at 10 and end at 2?
Yeah, it's like 4 hours long.
4 hours. And it goes until 2 a.m. 10 to 2. I'm in bed by 9.
Well, they got wine, so maybe just drinking some wine.
I'm still going to be drowsy. Wine makes me sleepy. No, but even so, if my last meal is at 1:30, I got to stay up till 3:30 to go to bed. I can't go to bed until 2 hours after I finish eating because I have acid reflux problems. Attractive. So, I would have to stay up till 3:30 to go to bed. I ain't doing that rich shit. I'm not doing it.
Good thing we're not going to go experience the menu.
No, but I do want to. Maybe I'll save up and go to the one that's in that it's not based but inspired the restaurant where it is. I want to do that. I'll save up money for that.
That's in Denmark.
I'll save money for Denmark.
Yeah.
Copenhagen. I've always wanted to go to Denmark.
Yeah.
They have a little mermaid statue in the ocean.
Yeah, the restaurant is based off of this actual,
Yeah, but they don't murder their people.
No, they don't murder.
It's based, the location and how it's styled.
Yeah.
Is based off of an actual fancy restaurant.
No, they definitely don't murder people.
They do not murder people. Do they only allow 12 people onto that?
I don't think so. I don't think how the process is. It's just the looks, and they do the same thing with their proteins, or it's a Nordic kind of protein thing, and
probably the same style of meals.
Everything
it's very fancy.
Comes from the nature around them instead of outsourcing things. It's done local. Yeah, I would go there.
Yeah, let's save up money and go to Denmark.
Yeah,
Denmark would be fun.
I think so too,
but just not in the winter time.
Yeah, definitely not in the winter time. Yeah,
anyways, continue. Sorry, I just wanted to go on a rant. 4 hours too long for a meal.
That really is. Yeah, so definitely the class is there, and I think another one of the things that was overarching is the idea of enjoying your work, but also people appreciating your work, because the movie has this idea of food as art, and how why Chef is so over everything is he doesn't have love in his food anymore, but he's reached such a stature of class as a chef where his food is for the rich people, but the rich people really aren't appreciating his food per se. And then you have Margot as well being the only one there who she's, it seems like she's seen some shit, and she continues to try to work to get the things that she wants. Not saying that these people didn't work to get what they want, because the tech bros, of course, they went to school and did their whole tech
but they're entitled about their position.
They're entitled, and also it seems like they have ease in their life now, having all this money, where Margot, she's still working for getting paid to go on this meal, getting paid to
yeah, and she doesn't like what she does now.
Yeah.
She said in the beginning she liked it. Yeah. She enjoyed it.
Which she is also an interesting take, because usually as sex work is a negative, usually portrayed, but she's no, I enjoyed my work, but no, I don't have a lot of enjoyment in it anymore.
It's probably because she has to do the daughter thing.
Yeah.
She's I don't like it.
Yeah,
so it's probably the creepy things she makes it unenjoyable. But yeah, it was really nice to see positive look at escorting and prostitution and stuff like that. Yeah. Because some people do it because they actually enjoy it.
Yeah, which is
fine. Now, if you're being pimped out against your will, that's the line. But if you enjoy doing it, why does it matter? I'm talking about now it being illegal. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But a porn star is seen in not high regards, obviously, but that's legal. What's the difference?
Yeah. Other than the pimps, of course.
Yeah, but if you don't have a pimp, or you have a pimp that is like, because some people, I've heard of some interviews of prostitutes who do have pimps, but they're like not against their will. They're just people who manage, who kind of help out. I've heard an interview where that their pimp was like their supporter. So like if something bad was happening, that pimp was there 100% defending her and never doing stuff like putting her in dangerous situations and stuff. So would tell her like, you can't go to this because it's a very sketchy guy. Mm-hmm. So if it's a pimp that is doing it against your will, a pimp can be here or there depending on the type. But some people say a pimp is nice to have because they manage everything. Yeah. But if it's like a bad pimp, obviously not good. But some people can't do prostitution without a pimp. Mm-hmm. Who helps them out. Yeah. A good pimp. I'm going to say good pimp.
Yeah. One that's not...
Who's putting you in dangerous situations, something against your will. That stuff, obviously not good. Yeah. But if it's a good pimp, hey, do what you gotta do. Make that money. Yes. I ain't judging you. Yeah. Just make sure you wear a condom. Yeah. For your own safety. Fuck that man, but for your own safety, make sure they're wearing a condom. Or you have a... there's a female condom?
Yeah.
Or you have a female condom on. Just make sure. Keep you safe.
Yeah. So I think we see that through line, especially because it's interesting that Margot is the only one there that is like, she's not really like loving this experience. She's like, I'm not getting fed any food. Like,
she's... At first, she was like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then she's like, but I'm kind of bored. And you guys are really... Tyler, you're really taking this serious.
Yeah, and I think she can kind of tell the pretension behind the food because she's like... Chef is like, why aren't you eating your breadless bread plate? Which is just like a bunch
that was fucking hilarious.
Oil and like accompaniments that you would put on bread, but they don't get bread because... they are not the common man because bread is seen as food that the poor people usually have because it's easy to make and was accessible. So like they would have that as meals. So these people are not the common people, so they don't get any bread. They just get accompaniments. Which she's like, I don't want to eat oils. Like,
and a shout out, there was an oil that was apparently separated.
An emulsion. The emulsion was broken. That's like when the oil and fat separate. So
yeah, it was separating, and so she's like, "It's separating, little." The food critique, and so they just kept bringing her big bowls of it. And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
so I want to be that savage one day.
Essentially, being like, "Okay, you don't like this? Here's more of it."
Yeah, did it twice. Oh my god, yes.
So funny. Yeah, so I think that is a thorough line, and you definitely see it throughout the film, like the breadless bread plate. Chef's kind of making a point of like, bread is for like the working man. Bread is a thing that's like historically been for the people who couldn't afford better. So like, why are you guys gonna get bread? Like, you essentially, you don't deserve to have this bread right now. Like, you can just eat a bunch of fancy oils. And we also hear the food critic, like, Chef says how easy bread can be made with just water and flour. And she's like, I make my own bread, and it's very peasant style, and it's made with apple yeast. And it's like, you can see the difference between, like, her being like, here's my fancy bread, but it's peasant style. Like, she doesn't have any, like, connection with this bread making, and also she's making it fancy with the apple yeast, and, like, so she doesn't, even though she says, oh, I know so much about how class is connected to food, she, like, really, like, doesn't have that experience, like, or at least maybe she did at one point, but now she's this high-end, like, food critic, and she's better than, like,
what she used to be.
Yeah, so, that's one thing, and then, I think we see with Chef being, he enjoyed his, like, making food when he actually was, like, having a lot of love for his cooking, and now his stuff is kind of, what is it, like, soulless a bit. Like, he's like, but, these are the caliber of food that usually, you go to, and it's expensive food, and people go to have these, like, crazy, soulless, well, not all chefs, I would say, are soulless, but kind of, like, it's nothing kind of food. It's more like a construct. Like, it's a concept. Like, having one scallop on a bunch of rocks, and that's it. It's like you're telling a story.
I hope they clean those rocks.
Yeah, I hope so too. Well, the critic says it tastes like I'm eating the oceans. I don't know. But that might also be the
aesthetic
Paco Jet salt water they have on it, which Tyler's like, I have a Paco Jet. It's like, you don't use that Paco Jet.
You probably don't even have it out of the box. It's just a box on your counter.
Tyler's just like, Paco Jet.
You like my Paco Jet?
No, he just doesn't like care. And then another thing that I talked about was how these upper class people, especially the older couple, they've been there so much that they now don't care about the experience. It's just like whatever to them. Like once they do at the beginning, they're like, okay, we're gonna take you on a tour of the place, and they're like, can we just skip this and like get to the food? Like we don't care. We've seen this so many times. Which is like, they've been there 11 times. It's like 12.
I got it. Let me get the math. No, you do your mental math. I'll tell you if it's correct.
1,250 times 2 was what, like 3 under 3,000? Multiply by 11, 33,000? Lower than that?
27,500.
Yeah. Like, the money of a car.
A good car is about that, but that's more expensive than my car.
Yeah.
And my car, I got a new.
It's just to go, like, to this experience that they don't really, like, care about anymore. Like, Chef even is like, oh, since you've been here so much, what have you had the last time? And they're like, God, I don't know. And and then he goes, it wasn't God, you donkey.
I love the donkey.
Maybe
donkey. Oh, that was a high wave. Sorry.
So, like, these people are here, and they're not really appreciating the work that actually goes into this food, even though it's pretentious. They don't care about the art of what Chef is making. They're just there to, like, say that they have the experience, and it doesn't even seem like they really, like the food, really. Because they, like, when we see them eating, they're like, oh, yeah, like, this is the thing. So it's like, why are you there? Just because you have the money that you can go, so therefore you're going because you can. And then the tech bros as well, they have a sense of entitlement where they're like, oh, well, our boss is your investor, so therefore we should be, like, treated nicer than everyone, and you should give us bread. And they kind of, like, have this air about them, like, they are, like, hot shit, like, because they are essentially, are kind of, like, flaunting their power over, like, the restaurant and chef, and also being like, well, our boss owns this restaurant, so, like, therefore we're better than you, and we kind of own you.
And you need to listen to us.
Yeah, and you need to listen to us and give us bread. Like, this isn't funny, give us bread. And Elsa's like, no.
Just repeatedly says no.
You get no bread. So yeah, we definitely see all these different kind of, like, classes of, like, upper class of them. Like, everyone who has the money, other than Tyler, he's doing this because he actually, like, loves Chef so much. Like, I think if Tyler could cook, he would have joined. And
100%.
He would end up caring.
I would not be surprised if Chef went literally suck my dick right now. And he would go,
yes, Chef!
yes, Chef! Or will anyone suck my dick? He just stands up and goes, me! I will! Yes, Chef!
Yes, me. Yeah, other than him, like, everyone that's there, they just don't seem to like really care all that much about the food. It's more like it's an experience that they're able to have, and because it's a experience for like people who tend to have the money to do it, therefore like look how great we are and how much money we have that we can do this thing, where they not really caring about what they're eating, other than Tyler, of course, the critic. She's there and she's like, yeah, like he invited me and like the food is great here. Like she has this sense of like she's like pretentious in the way that she like uses like crazy words to describe the food, and she thinks like, oh, I'm this food critic who knows everything, and I go to the best restaurants and they invite me to go to places, kind of like the air of being like better than everyone as well. And then the actor, he doesn't really have that, other than like
he name drops people.
Yeah, he name drops people, trying to be like, I have this status. I know Chef. Like him and I were best friends. Like even though
he doesn't know him
Chef
at all.
hates him. It's like the opposite. And he also, it seems like he's there because he's about to pitch a streaming idea for like a food traveling show, and he's like, I don't know, I would just go here and I would eat the thing and then pretend to have like a food orgasm and then leave, and then I would talk about racism in South Africa. Like he doesn't really seem like he cares about the food he's gonna be eating. He's more like, this is my new venture as an actor, is I'm gonna host this food show. It's like, do you even care about the food?
Yeah. Like, you're not really educated to do that.
Yeah, he just wants to do it because he's like,
oh my God, I just had a fantastic thought. What if instead of, even though Voldemort was great, they had Gordon Ramsay playing him? Oh my God.
That would have been funny. Except,
calling him a donkey in Gordon Ramsay tongue?
Gordon Ramsay would just be yelling and, like, insulting everybody. That'd be really funny.
Only insulting the guest, not his chefs.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Because how would they... Or maybe that would show even more of a trauma bond than him yelling at them.
Even though, yeah. Well, he just likes to yell, doesn't he?
Gordon Ramsay? No, actually, he's a very mellow person. It's actually kind of a shock.
He just yells for his reality show.
No, I think what he says with yelling, he says when it comes to his shows, he's dealing with chefs. Therefore, they need to know what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
So he gets frustrated because he's like, you're a head chef of a restaurant and you don't know how to fucking cook a chicken?
Yeah.
Or people are like airheaded and being like, well, I'm the meat chef in this restaurant, and they fucking horrible at cooking meat. So that's when he gets frustrated, is because people either air themselves up and then prove that they probably don't know shit, or they crack under pressure, which he said he doesn't need a head chef at a restaurant cracking under pressure because they're supposed to be running it.
Yeah.
How can he trust somebody who can't handle the heat?
Yeah.
Get it? Because you're in the kitchen.
I guess I did.
But I've seen so many interviews of him with, like, people, like, just normal people cooking or learning how to cook, and he's teaching them how to cook, and he's so mellow.
I know, he's
so
really nice with the kids.
He's insanely nice with children. But, like, even, like, with chefs that don't know what they're... Not chefs. People who are cooking with him that don't know what they're doing, he's more quippy and funny and chill. He's not like yelling. But also with reality, they probably bump it up a lot too. Yeah. So I doubt he does that truly.
Yeah, I
in
think
his
for
restaurants.
a reality show, he's more like.
Yeah, he might be yelling if something happens and somebody didn't do something when he said do it. I wouldn't, like, I would do that if I was a chef, most likely. But like, yeah, I could see him doing the quippy things. Yeah. Like, get your head out of your ass and do what you need to do. Stuff like that. Not like screaming. But he would have been, I think he would have been fantastic. He should have been a sous chef. That would have been hilarious. Just have a little Gordon in the back being like, I'm a sous chef. As one of the
chef. And he has to pretend. That'd be good. And then another thing that goes along with the class is Chef likes to talk about this, like, dichotomy of givers versus takers,
Mm-hmm.
where like the people who are eating at the restaurant, he's considering them takers because they're just taking his food and not giving anything, essentially. And he's a giver because he's giving the food. But I think what he's really trying to get with that is they just take things now because they can like pay for them. So they're taking things where like chef, even though he probably gets paid quite a bit for his restaurant, he's constantly like on the grind. Like he said, he hadn't had a day off, and that's why he hates calling Dr. Sunshine, because he's like working intensely hard every single day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, you know, him also burning the heck out of his hands. He's showing like he's doing a job that he is putting in a lot of hard work, and
it's hard work running any kind of restaurant.
Yeah, and so he sees himself as like a giver, like instead of just taking things, like he's trying to give them the food and they're just like taking it with no like appreciation, or maybe in their careers they just take things, or like the older couple, like we don't know what they do, but it seems like that's their kind of error about things, is we don't just take things, you know. I have the money, so therefore like I get the things, like I'm not working for the things, essentially, I think is his kind of viewpoint. So he kind of groups them right up. And then that's why he asked Margot, like, where are you? Like, are you with us or are you with them? And in reality, she is more of a giver. Like, she's giving a service to somebody, being a service worker, rather than, like, taking. So I just find all of that interesting. And then
I like that. Instead of prostitutes, we should say, or what else are they called? They're not called prostitutes anymore. Sex workers. Yeah, instead of sex workers being service workers.
Yeah.
Because they're
providing a service.
They are providing a service.
Yeah.
A dick service.
Yeah. Woo, woo. Or they could also be seen as providing an experience. Like, before we started recording, when I was at work, I was listening to Dead Meat cover this movie because it helped me like refresh. They kind of phrased it as
my stomach made the weirdest fucking noise.
Okay, stomach. Stomach is joining the podcast as a third member.
I don't even think that picked up, but that was a weird noise. That was. I could feel it too. It was like right here.
They like described it as, you know, chefs giving this food experience, and she gives an experience in a different way. Like,
orgasmic.
Yeah. So she's providing a service, providing an experience for them. So you have like that kind of thing going on along attached with class, and then the other big part is I was thinking about how like jobs, some jobs like being a chef, you tend to like, you can work up to being very prestigious. But then like in chef's case, making that prestigious level is something that actually sucked the joy out of his like career and his passion of wanting to cook. Is his food became for like, he's prestigious, like his food's now prestigious, and so that's where he loses his love and enjoyment, because maybe he was trying to aim for that, or by chance he got, you know, really big because of, I think the food critic helped him, like said like, this put him on the map, and then people started coming, but maybe that isn't what he wanted. He just wanted to cook, but now he's got all of this like pressure of being like this prestigious cook. Like people are expecting like fine dining from me now, like fancy like meals and stuff like that.
And to bring it back to Gordon Ramsay, Gordon Ramsay is a very prestigious chef, highly regarded, very prestigious, one of the most well-known famous chefs in the world. But you don't like, and his food can be very expensive. Like I'm thinking of like his Las Vegas things, like Hell's Kitchen's pretty pricey for like working class like us too. I would say we're like cusp of middle, like lower middle.
Yeah.
Now, back in at our old jobs, we were definitely like all the way down.
Yeah.
But now I think we're on that cusp of middle class, lower middle class. And, you know, we couldn't afford to go there. The only reason why we went there is because my mom paid.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. But, you know, even though his food is super, you know, not super expensive, but relatively expensive for the working class, you know, you can still tell that it's made with love, even though he's not the one cooking it. Like the chefs there, they actually love to make these foods. That's why it tastes so good. That's why it's always presented in a nice way and everything, even though they are now in a prestigious, very high-end restaurant.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I don't, maybe Gordon wanted to be prestigious one day, but like the way he went about it, I was just like, well, Gordon Ramsay has a fish and chip shop on the Las Vegas Strip. Run a burger joint with their name. Fat Joe's.
Yeah.
Joey Fatone has his own burger shop. Like, you can do it. It's fine. You won't be looked down. Make a good-ass burger and run a burger shop. I was just sitting here like, I think it also showed that even though he was punishing prestigious and rich people, he in himself was a prestigious and rich person, and that's why, therefore, he also had to die.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, you could have avoided all that. Just say no to the big restaurant, open a big-ass burger chain, boom, you're happy. Why you not happy?
Yeah.
So I think he was doing a lot of, if I'm going to bring this into psychology, a lot of learned helplessness. Like, he was like, I can't do anything. I'm like, bitch, you got the money.
He can
hire a new...
murder everybody. That's the one thing you realized he could do.
He jumped a lot of stuff. Like, you could have hired a new head chef.
Like, the Jennifer's Body guy going straight to, like, Satan for fame.
Yes.
He's, like, straight to murder.
This is the same circumstance where it's like, you do know, dude, that you can, like, not do it.
What can I do but murder everyone? That's the last resort, I guess. This is it for me.
No. Hire a new chef, go back home, run a burger joint. Like, it's, you got the money. So that's why I was like, oh my God, not only were the restaurant people besides Margot were whiny bitches, he was also a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
Thank God he died too. But like, I was like, you know, again, I think it's because he's in that rich prestige era now. He couldn't see him being able to go back to working class. Yeah. I'm like, you could have done that so easily. You got the money.
I was thinking maybe he like also now thinks that he's tainted in a way because he made it to prestige, that he's like, well, you know, fire is cleansing, because that's what he says when they like put they put these fucking s'more suits on the customers where they give them marshmallow like shawls and then like puts chocolate hats on them and then literally sets them on.
Never mind, that's my favorite.
The way I laughed so hard at that ending scene and laughed all the way home from the movie theater, being like, that was so darkly like comedic, because oh my God, they're burning alive and that would be horrible, but also they got chocolate hats on. How can I not laugh at that? Like, that was the way he decided they should all die.
It's s'mores. And he was, I have a gripe with this chef. He's not real, but he was roasting s'mores. How dare you? He was saying s'mores are an abomination. They're disgusting. I'm like, you never had a good ass s'more then. You need to take a chill pill.
Him just being like, they are an abomination. I was like, that's such a strong word.
Or you say inedible, 2 pieces of inedible graham cracker. I'm like, what kind of graham cracker are you getting? Get the cinnamon ones. The cinnamon graham crackers? 10 times better. What's more?
Like, unethically sourced chocolate, gelatinous sugar water.
2 pieces of cardboard graham crackers.
He hates s'mores so much that it's just really funny. But
I wonder that he had such a fiver. Is that a word? Fiver? Yeah, that's a word. Fiver? I thought it was fiver.
Fervor.
He has such a fervor for s'mores. I wonder if the actor actually hates
He's like,
s'mores.
let them have s'mores.
Fucking because he's British. Maybe they don't like s'mores.
Yeah.
But they also like Vegemite.
Yeah. So can they talk?
So can they really talk? Fuck you, British people. Just kidding. But also.
Yeah. So s'mores. That was so funny though. But because he does say cleansing fire, so maybe he thinks like he's cleansing himself. Because like he's such an entertaining character to watch. But I think his logic does show that he is like he's not the good guy in this. He's hilarious.
Maybe he was just also ready to die because he got to do his final meal. The way Margot gets out basically is she claps and she takes over and she's like, I fucking hate everything you're making here.
I don't like your food.
I don't like your food. And he was like, what would you want then? And she was like, a burger. Because she saw the picture of him as a fry cook. And so he was like, fine, I'll make you a burger. And you see when he's cooking, he's smiling and he's feeling. Yeah. So I think he was ready now because he had to do his last meal that he made was a burger.
And that's why he also lets Margot leave because he's like, you like recognize the like working class, being a service worker, enjoying your work. Like he sees things in her that he wishes he like could be now. So
yeah. I also saw what I was thinking in that moment was also that he let her go in my brain because maybe he's so selfish. He's like, he let her go so she can finish her burger. Because like, how would you feel if somebody made you something? You made somebody something. They take one bite and they go, I'm going to pack this up and I'm going to eat it up tomorrow. And they don't end up eating it. You get pissed off. So, therefore, I think that's what my brain was going to. Like, he just wants her to finish that burger because he put his love into that burger. And of course, she's like, I think my ass was too big for my stomach. Can I have a to-go box? He was like, yeah, you got to eat that burger. I made it. That was my final burger. You eat it. You leave, you eat it.
I think he was more like, I understand, like, because he was trying to put her in, like, givers or takers.
I think my brain just went to what I would do. If I was him, I would be like, yeah, you finish that burger. You leave and you finish.
Yeah, that's funny. Him being like, now eat the burger. I think he was always going to die, though, because he said we're all dying tonight, like, even though he made an exception with Margot, so he was like, well, now I can die happy at least. But, yeah, so he has, like, such a prestige that I think he lost enjoyment, which I think is kind of a class thing along with that is, there are people who they could make a lot of money, like, pandering to, what companies want, like, musical artists. Like some of them stop listening to what their label wants or they leave to make the music that they want and that might not be the most profitable music, but it's what they enjoy. But like I kind of see that with Chef is he made such a prestigious meal and now he's lost enjoyment where he used to have more enjoyment just probably making minimum wage, like flipping a burger, like, some people they want to make a lot of money off of their art, but then some people don't. But it seems like he ended up eventually feeling like that's what he had to do. And also he says something about the angel investor, like now I'm free, like now with this angel investor giving him the money for the restaurant, he has to listen to what the angel investor wants. Like, I
wonder how they got the investor. I wonder how they kidnapped him. I want to see that in the end credits scene.
And also, at the end of the night, they're like, okay, here's a gift bag, and everyone gets one of Doug Verrick's fingers. So, like, while he was, like, strapped up to those wings, he also had no fingers.
Yeah, I need to know this in a cutscene. How did they steal him? How did he react to I need to see his point of view of what was happening.
Yeah. He's just
not poor man. He's probably an asshole too. He's rich.
Just like the idea, though, of just being...
You get a finger. You get a finger.
He gets lowered into the water, like, wearing his angel wings, and then, like, submerged, and, like, he's just trapped under there. Also, Elsa makes the funniest move. She, like, puts her hands out like a bird, and she just goes...
She flaps
to let them know to drop him into the ocean.
Oh, my Lord.
She does it, like, so straight, too. She's like...
Look at your laugh lines. Your laugh waves? There you go.
Yeah, so they drop the angel investor, but yeah, I think they're...
Slowly. They don't... I was expecting, like, a drop, but it was a slow burn.
Screams, and then the bubbles come up. It's just all very, like, darkly funny. Just makes me laugh, and just being, like, slowly submerged. And her being like, yes, drop it with her little wing motion. But yeah, so I think there's, like, something that could be said with, like, do you give up your enjoyment of your art for money? Like, you know, there's been people being like, that person's a sellout because they're, you know, not enjoying what they're doing anymore. They're only doing it for money, which, you know, is their choice if they want to do that. But I think this movie is kind of is looking at, like, would you give up the enjoyment to be in upper class and then live doing something you no longer enjoy, or you're not doing it in the way that you would like because...
Answer that question. Would you? Let's pretend the job you have now. Because you don't like your job. Yeah. No offense to your coworkers. But let's say you have to live this job for the rest of your life. But you get bumped up to upper class. You get a good amount of money. You can buy and afford a great house, car, you can buy your mom a house, you can travel. Would you do it?
I have always been on the stance of I would rather be working doing something I enjoy than something I hate. Like, that's why I became an English major when I could have just easily been like, oh,
marketing.
Go to marketing, I'll be tech, I'll be a doctor, like, all of these, like, things. But now actually having to pay bills.
Now being an actual adult.
It's a little bit different. Because I'm trying to think, because it's hypothetical, I don't have the experience per se. Like, my job now, like...
You could do what my mom does.
I just, like, don't want to be in my job for that long. Like, I'm already bored.
No, not that for long. I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
You're doing your job, and you can live the life that my mom lives, because you get jealous of my mom a lot. My mom goes to Vegas twice a year.
Yeah, I guess I would, but for life, that's when I'm like, I don't...
Well, it wouldn't be for life, but, like, you work this job, you work another boring job you don't like, but you get paid a good amount.
Yeah, that's where my, like, hypothetical I'm struggling, because I don't want to do it right now, but I'm like, but if I got more money...
I can answer this confidently. 100%. Oh, fuck yeah, I would do it. If I could have the money... Here's my thing. My balance would be, I would hate my job, but my life outside of work would be fantastic.
That's true.
And I would honestly... Not in fantastic in the ways of, like, these people are, where they're like... And I also wouldn't be, like, I'm better than anyone else because I fucking hate my job, so no, I don't. Yeah. But my thing is, I would love to travel. My biggest thing I want to do, either when I retire or if I have enough money, is I want to travel. I want to go places.
Yeah.
I can't do that if I don't have money. So yeah, I would trade a shitty job that I don't like or I don't see myself going anywhere for something that I'm neutral with. I'd rather do that and get a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So then my outside of work life is fulfilling to me. Yeah, I would say. But if it's a job where I'm getting paid where I am now, I would do something that I'm passionate with.
Yeah, that's what I
was We're lower middle class, so we're able to survive. So we're like, yeah, do something that you really like. We're also really young, so
yeah.
My mom's like, don't do a job that you actually want to die until like you're in your 30s or 40s. Oh, so then you have plenty of time to do things.
Yeah, because
you travel then.
I was thinking with my job now, like, it's already... like, so boring that I would rather go do something I enjoy at the moment. But if they give me more money,
then maybe I'll stick it out.
Maybe I'll stick it out, but they won't. So my hypothetical is not a real case. But
I'm saying like an adjacent to your job. It's like your job, but you work for a company that will give you a shit ton of money.
I think it is interesting though, because like my job's not creative, so I think it can tend to be a little bit different. Like if you're doing something that's creative, somebody's telling you like you can't do the creative things that you enjoy. You have to do it like how the company wants you to. Like I'm not like an artist, a singer, a dancer.
Yeah, but you want to be a writer or like a film writer and everything. And in there, you would have to abide by people.
Yeah, but I would want to be more like on the support side. Like I don't want to be like the helm of something. Like so, I would probably be like better. But I was thinking like an artist, like who's a singer. Like are they going to do what the label wants, or do they want to do music that they actually enjoy? And like
I think usually for like singers, the best bet is to follow the label until you get a name and then leave.
That's true. That's what because in my brain while I was thinking this, that's what NF did. Like he has a song on his most recent album being like, I could collaborate with all these artists that I don't care to collaborate with because my label says it'll be good for me, or I can make the music that I already want to make right now. So his whole entire album now is making music that he wants and not listening at all. And he's like, I'm doing mine now, but then also what the label wanted did give him a song in the radio. So it's like
it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Like sometimes my brain, I'm also a cynic, so I can't, because I don't have insanely true hard goal passions. Like I have things that I like psychology. I would like to do something with psychology and I'm kind of working towards it. But like there isn't a hard path like a chef. Like kids know when they're young they want to be a chef and they kind of grow up with that dream. And so, I never had that feeling at all because I wasn't exposed to psychology until I was in sophomore year of high school, junior year of high school. So, like, I don't have that strong passion for something.
That's how I kind of am, too. Like, I still don't know what I want to do. I don't feel a strong passion. Like, I like film, but I don't
Well, you do know now. You really like medical coding.
Yeah.
So now you have, it might not be a strong passion, but you have somewhat of a passion that you're dedicating. Now, money, too. Yeah. Or, well, technically, you're not dedicating any money for your education, but... Yeah. Except some money, you said like $100, $200 you'd pay for.
I will have like $1,000 that I need to get a loan for.
Oh, $1,000. Well, which isn't too bad. $1,000 loan is not bad at all.
I might take out slightly more just for books because my books are gonna be like medical textbooks and those are gonna be expensive. So it might be like.
I'm gonna talk to you about that later because I think I have a hack.
Teach me the way of books, please, because I'm afraid. She's like, these are gonna be expensive.
I have a hack for you. I'll show you once we're off, but hopefully it applies to you. But yeah. I guess that hypothetical is kind of harder for us because we don't have that strong passion for something.
Yeah, like my I have a friend who went to like art school and she has like such a passion for art, but there's not like a lot of jobs for like just wanting to do art. So like she has such a strong passion that she's like, I'm gonna make that work. And like for me, like English, I was like, yeah, that'll be great, but I have skills that carry over from English that I can take anywhere. But like I don't think I could do art, but like I don't have that passion, so I feel like I don't really know. I don't have passion to be a chef. Like I don't know that experience because I don't.
I keep encouraging her to write a book. You should just write a book and publish it.
I have tried to write a book. I get like 30 pages in and then I just don't want to write anymore because I don't know where I'm going.
You should write, or you should you should plan it all out. What a lot of writers do is they know the whole story right when they started writing it.
Yeah.
Either do that or do a collective piece of all short stories. Yeah. Do a short story and have it all into one and publish it on Amazon.
I had thought about the hypothetical.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking, one thing that I would like to do is like write screenplays, but there's like you can't just have that be your job. Like write screenplays. You have to work. Yeah, like
to it.
You have to
work in a company.
Like if I could have a really shitty job, but like write screenplays on the side just to see if one of them throws off.
Yeah.
But like I have enough money to sustain myself.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I would do that because at least I can work on a thing that I enjoy, but I don't have to worry about that being my main source of income if it doesn't work out. But you do it for fun. And
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
because then you have like the money to put in resources, get a really nice laptop, have a house that has a specific space that's only for your writing and stuff like that. So like, I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it for that stuff, doing it like on the side, or like doing consultations if I have the education for it, doing like consultations on the side with like psychology stuff.
A little side kind of thing.
And I don't need to get paid for it, so I feel good about doing it.
Then you can have kind of both. Like if my shitty job could allow me to put like time and money and energy into something I actually like you know how I kind of want to dabble in music production, but like, you know, buying that stuff is expensive. If I had a shitty job, but I could like do that on the side, you know. Let me see if I
be a DJ on Saturday nights.
Yeah, and then I don't have to worry about that being my like full job, but I could do it for fun and maybe make a little extra side money. Since we're at 1:20, let me see if I.
Oh yeah, do you have any other
anything else?
Things you would like to? Is this double back? Oh, it is.
It is. Yeah.
Did we talk about everything on the front, or everything you really wanted to talk about on the front?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Okay.
Ooh, I did want to talk quickly about Tyler because he is kind of another central part.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, me neither. We talked about him a little bit, but one of the things with Tyler that like irks me is the fact that he has an air of being better and knows everything about food than the rest. Like he kind of does it like, oh, like to Margot, he's like, you're dumb. Well, he doesn't say that exactly, but he like
you don't understand.
Or he's like, it's a concept, Margot, and she's like, I know what a concept is. Like
it's stupid.
I'm just saying the concept is dumb, but I know what a concept is.
Or like at the very beginning how you're introduced is she lights a cigarette and he's like, stop, it affects your palate. And she's like, I'll be fine. And he's like, you gotta appreciate the food. And it's like, you think that he's gonna be a really like, well, he's kind of a dick, but you're like, well, maybe he's like a natural, like really passionate about food. Maybe he wants to be a chef, professional chef. Nope, he just found out he just wants to suck chef's dick.
He's kind of like, the word that comes to mind with Tyler is he's like a poser. Like he thinks he knows everything about food, but like he really doesn't. Like you can appreciate it, but if you're not a chef, then you're not gonna know all the ins and outs that a chef knows. And it doesn't even seem like he tries to like learn about the cooking. It's more like he's so knowledgeable about like the techniques and the machines, but he doesn't actually know
how to use or create. It kind of reminds me of people with music. That's why I always try to say like I don't like it or I do like it instead of saying it's bad or it's good, because I don't know what's bad music. I don't know. Like it might sound bad to me, so that's why I say I don't like it.
Yeah.
But like I can't say it's bad because I don't know how music production works.
Yeah.
I don't know all the ins and outs of making music. So that's why I get so fucking upset with people being like, this is a bad song. No, it's a bad song to you. Yeah. Some people might really like it.
I don't like it. It's not for me.
It's not for me.
Like if somebody
like one of the NCT songs. It was the NCT?
The annoying whistle one?
Yeah, there's a whistle and it irks me. But I didn't say it's a bad song. I kept saying, I bet it's a good song. But like I don't like it. You were in
the majority of people being like, oh my god, I can't with the whistle.
The whistle!
Or when I'm pretty good at tuning out things in music. Like, if somebody, like, tells me this song is really repetitive, my brain, I don't even recognize it. And that can annoy people, but in my brain, like, it doesn't. So the whistle, like, it's just different people, you know?
Yeah. But I never said that it was a bad song.
Yeah.
I just said I don't like it. it annoys me.
Yeah, which you're in the majority.
Yeah, but again, I bet if that whistle wasn't in there, I would have really, or if it was in there less, I would really like it. But that was their decision. That's their creative liberty or their label's creative liberty on it.
Let's give them.
Let's irk the people who have sensitivity issues with music.
Let's give them this whistle. And then the last piece I was thinking about with Tyler is he gives an air that he believes that he appreciates the food, but he really doesn't. Like, I think that's the point that Chef is also trying to make, is Tyler is there thinking that he is, like, he knows everything about Slowick, like, he knows everything about food. Like, it seems like he appreciates food, but then he really doesn't. It seems like he appreciates more the fact that he knows it. Like, he's like, yeah, I know this thing, instead of being like, I enjoy this thing. Kind of like... Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, like, appreciation versus appropriation.
Yeah.
He's appropriating. He's presenting like he is a chef. He's so good and understands all of these things, but in reality, he's a poser. He's appropriating the culture of chef.
Yeah, and you can
appreciate
the food. Like, if he actually did
or just appreciate the chef, too.
Yeah. Like, he loves Chef, but, like, he doesn't give a shit about the, like, sous chefs who are helping. And, like,
one kills himself and he's just eating.
Yeah, and Margot asked, well, you didn't ask the sous chef's name, because, like, the sous chef, like, said that he knew Tyler's name, and he's just like, like, he doesn't care. Like, he cares more about Chef liking him and, like, that he can be seen. I think Tyler's thing is, like, he can be seen as the person who knows the most, so therefore he's the best, like, person there to eat this food, because I know Chef and I know Paco Jets and I know that this tea has bergamot in it. Like, he's just such a fanboy for Chef that he wants to prove that he...
And even so, it's almost creepy.
Yeah, he went in there knowing that he was full well gonna die, and he was just like,
yep.
Yes, Chef.
I'll die.
And
thank you.
The shit
happened. And he didn't even die in the fire. He hung himself.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. I wanted to see him eating the s'mores kind of like off of him.
One thing that the Dead Meat podcast mentioned that I think about is Tyler, like, his death was separate because Chef even, like, ostracized him out of, like, you don't get to join us in the final death. Like, you're not even worthy for that. You get to go hang yourself, and you don't get to be a part of the rest of this meal. Like, you're not even worth it. Like, you go kill yourself. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to take you out. You're not worth my being a part of the menu. That's kind of, like, how they were talking.
Yeah.
I was like,
and I understand it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It would have been fun, though, to see him burning.
But while eating it off of him.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That would have been funny.
He's just, and then my one last thing is the, like, people not being able to, they don't fight to survive really well, like, and Chef's like, that's something maybe you should think about, and he quotes Martin Luther King Jr., which is really funny, because also that's not what that quote's about, but, like, I think that also shows Chef is just kind of using whatever he wants for his ideology, but it does make an interesting thing, because the quote is about how freedom is not given by the oppressor, like, it's given by the oppressed. Like, you have to fight for the freedom, like, it's not willingly given, and, like, these people are not doing that, showing that they really haven't had to fight a whole lot in life. Like, they, have it easy right now, or maybe they did have, like, the assistant seems like she had a pretty easy going money-wise, where she got to go to this university, so, like, they're not really fighting, because have they had to actually fight before to, like, live and survive?
Yeah. And along with that, the ending scene with Margot leaving, she looks back, and nobody is saying, like, take me. Yes, me too. I thought they were going to all stand up and, like, ask for a burger, but none of them did anything. And she looks at the woman, the affair man's wife, and she just nods, like, oh no, she was mouthing go.
She, like, shooed her, like,
shoot her away.
Like, you can leave, like, it's fine. And they all just, like, stare at her, like,
Yeah.
good.
Oh, and then they started putting the s'more stuff out on them and everything. And then when they light the fire, they're just sitting calmly in their chairs. I'm like, are you glued? Are you handcuffed? Get up! Bang on the windows! What are you doing? So I think that also represents they never had to fight for their lives before.
That would hurt too, and they're just sitting there like,
I'll accept it.
They
don't say anything. Some of them are praying, I think, when they're putting the stuff on them, but they're like not getting up. So yeah, I think that shows too. Yeah. Never had to fight a day in their life.
So they just keep not fighting, and they're like, I guess this is what's gonna happen to me. Yeah. And also, I was thinking with that quote, like, doesn't seem like they really had the oppression really, so they're not gonna fight back because no one has been oppressing them. Like, they have the money to do these things. It seems like they've had pretty easy lives, or at least from what we know, and so they're not gonna fight for it because they're not used to fighting. They're used to things they're used to taking things or being given things. Going back to that theme, they're not used to having to be the giver or fight or work hard or be a service worker. So I think that's what the movie is trying to say, tying that all together, the class thing, not having appreciation for food, not having enjoyment of what you're doing. I think that all kind of ties back to the sense of class and the sense of fighting to do the things that you're passionate about, or fighting to be able to enjoy the work you're doing, or just to live, being a service worker. So,
yep. I agree.
What was my whole spiel?
My whole spiel.
And we're at 1:30, so finish up our thoughts.
So, thing you really liked and thing you wish improved.
My favorite thing is the comedy.
Oh my god, I'm going to second that. Yeah. That's going to be my favorite too.
It just hits
so funny
every time. It's my kind of humor that I enjoy. It's not
they did dark humor in the way dark humor is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Dark, but not because people play off dark humor as racism, sexism, ableism, that kind of stuff. This was the proper way to do it because there was no... it technically was laughing up. It was laughing at upper class, pretentious people.
Yeah.
It wasn't laughing down onto people, which people write off as dark humor. It's not dark humor.
They're not punching down at people.
They're punching up.
And they're also doing it they're playing the movie, they're kind of playing it straight. It's a heightened kind of reality, and stuff is funny, but they're not purposely making jokes. It's not a comedy they're the ones making the jokes. It's more they are the joke. The things they're doing is the joke.
What they're saying and the way they're saying it is the funny part. Yeah. It kind of resembles a little bit kind of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yeah.
That kind of humor. But it was just a lot better in my opinion than Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. But it definitely resembled, it wasn't jokes there's a punchline.
Yeah.
It was joke in the way of the people, but joke in the way of people, how they talked, how they interacted.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Laughing at what they're doing, or how their character is, rather than...
Or reaction.
The character is making a joke, and we're laughing at what they're saying.
Yeah. Which is, I think, the best way to do dark humor. Because I also love dark humor if it's played like this. Yeah. Where it's correct, it's good, it's laughing up, it's not laughing down.
It's kind of also got a little bit of, absurd humor to me. The chocolate thing just makes me laugh because it's, so dark, but also absurd that they just have these fucking s'more hats on and they're burning alive. It's just, it's, such a weird kind of thing.
When he said s'mores, I didn't think they were going to bring out marshmallow smocks. I thought they were going to pour marshmallow fluff on them to represent the marshmallow. But the smocks, that made me laugh so hard, too. I was like, I would have probably pissed myself if they just started pouring marshmallow fluff on them.
That would have been good, but...
I should write a movie like this.
We'll do part 2.
We'll rewrite this, but do it in our horribly darker humor.
Yeah.
Pouring marshmallow fluff on somebody.
Yeah.
Have Tyler licking it off of him.
Roasting them actually on the fire.
Put a stick on them. Maybe it's their head.
Sweet.
Oh my god.
We're taking a really dark place. Yeah. So that is my thing I liked. The thing that
Improve.
I didn't like or would improve is I think. Let me think.
Do you want me to do mine?
Yeah,
I was
you go
thinking.
ahead.
This isn't like, I honestly, again, I don't believe in a perfect movie. I thought this was nearly close to perfect. I really like this movie. The only thing, and it's not even, we even talked about it, I wish Tyler died at the end because you could have done a lot of funny things with Tyler at the end. But I understand why they didn't kill him at the end. I just think that would have been funny to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I need a cut scene of the investor story. I just want to know how they kidnapped him.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
Or if they like coerced him into it. I just want to know that line.
Absolutely.
I think that would be funny. I think they could
maybe
do funny
they
things
like
with that.
invited him to like have a meeting about the restaurant, and he came like alone, thinking, everything will be fine. Like nothing strange will happen to me. And then they just like
or like
lock him in a room.
What if it was like Elsa and him kind of bantering while he's tied up? Oh my god, there could have been so many like funny things.
Maybe they,
You're an angel.
Yeah.
Why am I an angel? You're an angel. You're an angel investor. You're gonna fly.
Except downward.
But downward.
You're going to hell.
So I think they could have done a lot of funny things with a little bit of that. But like,
well, maybe I would. I don't know if the mom needed to be there. She kind of seems like, other than
the mom.
His mom.
Oh, his mom.
Like, I forget she's really there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think she needed to be there.
Other than the story, but I think he could have told the same story, like, without her being there. So.
Would have been funny if it was an urn.
Oh.
And he kept pouring alcohol into it. Come on, I can write a dark humor.
That actually would be great because his dad actually killed her. And then he just the urn, and he's like, "Well, Mom, I'm giving her advice."
Or don't explain why an urn is there.
Yeah.
But then at the end, when they're roasting this, we're about to roast the s'mores, just being like, "My mom used to like s'mores." Pours her into the fire.
We have a special ingredient tonight, folks. It's my mom.
Oh my god.
I think we're funny.
Oh my gosh. Hey, who wants to see us rewrite and act in the menu version 2?
The menu.
Where we make it darker.
We'll record it. The menu had a budget of $30 million. We have a budget of
$30.
$30. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I think she was kind of a nothing kind of person. I was just like, I forget she even is there.
She needs to be an urn.
Yeah.
No offense, Mom.
Or she doesn't need to be there.
I think an urn would be so much funnier.
That would be fun.
And they don't explain it. He just goes, "This is my mom." Anyways, so
she's gonna burn again.
She really likes s'mores. But
she once got s'mores.
She one time got s'mored.
She got cremated.
This is actually how we s'mored her. I mean, how we cremated her. But that would have been a funny joke at the beginning because they don't know what's going on at the end.
Yeah, I'm like,
and then they just stare at it being like, "Oh, God.
Something weird's happening here." Yeah, I think that would be...
Just a joke. It's not my mom. It's Crush of Graham Crackers. Okay, we're done with this now. I'm milking it. Kind of like s'mores. Sorry.
Oh, I want a s'more.
Okay. So we got that. We did great. We did great.
We did great.
Get a pat on the back for me. Stop looking at our cat.
Galgo being so cute, but she's sleeping with her ass in the air.
Hey, don't judge a girl with her ass in the air. Fucking rude.
I just thought that might be an uncomfortable way for her to lay.
No, she likes it. Sign off.
Don't be an Edward.
You good?
Yeah. My brain wanted to be don't be Edward.
Don't be an Edward.
Not even don't be an Edward. Don't be Edward.
Don't be Edward. Go watch your Friends. The TV show. No, I said it again. Go watch Friends.
Go watch your friends.
Go watch Friends.
Like
the
me.
TV show. Not your actual friends.
I'm on.
Yeah, she's watching me all the time. I don't like it.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching her all the time. I'm almost to the end of season 3.
Look at you go.
Progress updates as we go through until I finish.
Mm-hmm. Ross and Rachel made you cry almost.
Yeah.
I can't remember the first time I watched their breakup. So
It hurt me. I don't even like Ross that much, but I do like them as a couple. I will say.
Hit or miss for me. But yeah. Cut.